Okay. So, homeopathy started with me in 1987. 99, I went yearly to all the seminars in Mumbai with Dr. Shankaran and group. 2004, I started teaching sensation method in Germany, and I've published a lot in Spectrum of Homeopathy and German magazines and links. And my focus is on expanding the Mater Medica, including all kingdoms and imponderabilia, deep case-taking techniques, and homeopathy for special needs children. And so I mainly practice sensation method. My take on it is to trust the patient, that he can connect to his healing substance from nature. Of course, not everybody can, but basically I start with the assumption that people can heal themselves. Something like what is called direct perception also in meditation techniques. And the consultation is kind of the way to uncover the inner knowing. Now, here in Orville, I don't have people with very deep pathology. It's not like that people come from the hospital here. Most of them come for some chronic issue, which is not so pathological. Then I also work with non-verbal case takings with special needs children. And that is also very interesting. I worked with that in Germany, but also here in India. And I still work with a rapporteur in every case. I mainly use complete dynamics. So I have the system of Dr. Shankaran's method and the analytic case analysis with rubrics. I always do both. And then beside complete dynamic, I have some resources with Vital Quest, and then of course also the great publications of Dr. Kalatia and other recent publications. And besides being a homeopath, I also practice since 2010 regression therapy, did a big training in transpersonal regression therapy, which is mostly trauma therapy, and this complements very well my homeopathic work. I'm still, first of all, a homeopath, but it gives me a lot of insight also into the depths of healing processes on all levels, the interconnection of the constitutional homeopathic remedy with the trauma healing. Lots of interesting observations come along after practicing both for over 10 years. And I've set up a platform for Auroville International Therapist called aurovillebarjiva.com. And I have my clinic here since 2001. So let's not keep that time too long. Let's start with one of my favorite topics in homeopathy. Topic which has come to me more than I was looking for it. But then I have, let's say, kind of an unusual collection of what I could learn on the topic of imponderabilia. So imponderabilia or imponderables are the energy remedies. Yeah, that's how we call them. They are not measurable. That's what the word means. Maybe they're spooky, weird, or maybe not even used in homeopathy. Some even pharmacies say this is not really homeopathy. This is not what homeopathy is. It's too etheric. For example, Remedia is a very big international homeopathic pharmacy, removed all the imponderables from their pharmacy. because I spoke with the founder and he said, no, it's too, it's not scientific enough, and I don't want to be attacked for that. And after all, what is it? It's nothing, This is not homeopathy. So is imponderables just a freak topic? Some esoteric? Hahnemann actually started, as you probably all know, with magnet remedies. And today, magnet polyambo has 3,370 rubrics. And also Soul was started in 1893 and has a new proving also. Soul Britannica is in the repertory with 1,800 rubrics. And X-ray, proven 1897, is in the repertory with 1,400 rubrics. So yeah, they're with us for quite some time, in quite some volume. And then there are many, many new remedies. For example, positronium, antimatter, laser, microwave radiation, ultrasound. And then the Irish homeopath Nuala Ising did many very far-reaching provings of new remedies. Also, she did a proving of magnet polyambo, but also of fire, mobile phone radiation, of meteorite, of volcanic ash, of vacuum, of time, and there are also provings of thundercloud and rainbow spectrum. And I have seen cases of each of these, some my own, some of colleagues. I've seen video cases of each of these. So imponderables are energy, but not only energy and matter somehow in very different ways. Imponderables are not measurable. The energy kind of combines with matter or with minerals, and in a unique way. The atoms, the electrons, the elements combine in a unique way with energy. We had a long discussion also with colleagues about this, and I'm just presenting what is my experience with this. We can debate if it's only energy or also matter, but we will see also with some case examples. The energy aspect is described like radiating, shining, beaming, penetrating, transforming. Energy is moving matter, but it's not matter. We can see energy through matter. We can see forces through the effect on matter. For example, when we see the pattern of the magnet with little iron pieces, then we can see the magnetic field through matter. And this is very much a typical feature with also the patients wanting to see their effect in matter. So not only being energy, but how does this can be made visible? And there are many different ways. So in soul, in cases of soul, we have symptoms of hydrogen and we have symptoms of helium. And then, of course, we have energy. In magnet, we have symptoms also of ferrum because the magnets have a lot of iron. And in Hekla lava, also an imponderable, but we also have magnesium, alumina, and silica in their symptoms. My Hekla lava patient, the Ada lady, she was most of her life a potter, doing pottery with earth and then firing it. She was so amazed to do a real fire and have a pottery fire up and see the fire going up. And she said, our bodies, it's like earth. It's like magnesium, alumina, silica. This is how she described it. A very special lady. And that's why even in soul, in sun rays, we have symptoms of hydrogen and helium. So is it only energy? It's matter and energy. Even the patients, when they start talking, at first sounds like a mineral. So tempest is thundercloud. Yeah, there's some matter and some energy in there. I saw a video case, beautiful case, of a colleague. Volcanoes and geysers, there's a lot of matter, but there's also energy. I also saw a case of geyser from a colleague. Then meteorites. Of course, there's energy, but there's also a lot of matter. Actually, stones have very different, process, how they came about, but diamond is created in volcanic processes and granite as well. Or we did this proving of Shungit, and that also is a kind of compressed carbon makes up the stone eventually. So how much energy and matter, what is an imponderable and what is a mineral? For me, it's actually a sliding scale of connect between matter and energy. And then we also have our, let's say, normal mineral remedies like petroleum and glucosinum, and they will definitely, when they go towards the source, talk about energy. And even causticum. I have a causticum patient, very beautifully, he had all the typical causticum symptoms, even physical symptoms. But then he could describe also the fire and the heating up and the dissolution, and then so he went very deep in the description of the process. And there also we have energy. Is it an imponderable? We wouldn't say so. And we have many remedies actually, especially carbons, who are distilled remedies, yeah, carbon animale, other carbons. But there's some very typical features for a typical imponderabilia patient, which wouldn't be there in a normal mineral patient. Very typical is issues of incarnation. Why did I come here? So there's a sense of not being from here. Very strange. A sense of isolation and not belonging to the society, not belonging to their families, or even not belonging to anywhere on earth. And they feel they are different. They function different. And yeah, they actually have also a very different focus in life. They don't base themselves on matter. They base themselves on energy. They all have, in one way or the other, a certainty that it's possible that matter moves with energy or of their own energy. For example, they often see auras. I've had several imponderable patients who said, I usually don't say that, but I see people as energy, just as colors, not as persons. And they also have this different aim in life, not a material aim, nothing personal, and usually also not related to family. The aim is rather etheric or spiritual. Often it's about transformation, change, evolution, progress. And healing in imponderable remedies usually means that the deep sense of isolation should leave, should fade. At times this takes time, but sometimes also it's very obvious. When the remedy works, they will start to feel connected with people and nature, which is very relieving for them. They feel they get connected with the senses, not solely by this existential connectedness. The remedy and the healing also helps them finding their role in society or their place on earth. For example, one patient said, "No, I'm having my place here, you know. No, I'm here, you know. I can be here on earth." And then once one is here, one can also find meaning in being alive here on earth. So the question, why did I come, goes away. And then it also helps them to find companionship, connecting to other humans better, feeling understood, enjoying earthly pleasures. Yeah, taking up a space, a role, a function on earth and in society. We can also say the human qualities develop more. Like with every remedy, that's what should be happening, no? It should, if in sensation method, we would say people should become more just humans, you know, happy to be humans and exploring that, what it means to them. You might think that my patients are all living in Oroville and they must be very spiritual people who have come to a spiritual community from all over the world. But actually, if I look at who are my patients, few are here, but many just simply live in Germany, a very normal, externally normal life. So I've been learning from cases of Luna, Soul, Spectrum, the magnets, positronium, black hole, that is the black hole in the universe, gravity, it's also a remedy, Higla lava, meteorite, and aquaterra, which I will probably present last. It's a remedy we prepared here, the water of the earth. So it's a very interesting remedy. So first I thought that all imponderables are just coming as energy from the universe, and then after energy come the first elements like hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, helium, neon. These are just the first elements from the universe. Later, through my patients, I learned that actually all elements beyond iron are forged in a supernova explosion and reached Earth via meteorites. So we can know that all the elements beyond iron come from the universe and have also this kind of cosmic quality somehow. Because first I thought only hydrogen and soul and helium will speak of universe and a kind of cosmic connection. But actually it's actually nearly everything which is on Earth, we can say. So taking a case of somebody needing a imponderable eventually, it first sounds usually like a mineral case. The mineral case talking about certain functions, and then we can observe a certain weight of the ego. Is it first, second, third, fourth row, or even several rows, like in causticum or in, many of the salts. It can be several rows. And yeah, every mineral has also a specific structure, how they act out their functionality. That's how it sounds first. And then when the shift occurs and they talk about the issues, usually not about physical symptoms so much, but about more psychic issues, fears, dreams, then it starts to be the effect of force and energy on matter, what they will describe in one way or the other. And one realizes that there's not really an ego. Ego is not weighing in heavily. You don't get to lower rows. No. And then also non-material properties like penetrating matter, rays, vibrations, impulses start to appear when they talk about their issues. And then, of course, again and again, they will mention energy. And what could it all be? So for myself, I made this kind of listing. Of course, it's not complete, but as a kind of overview, what could it be? So it could be remedies from the universe, like soul, spectrum, which is made from sunlight, lunar. Then also remedies made from the light of planets like Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Polaris, which is the light of the North Star. The North Star is pretty far away, but somebody made a remedy. Similarly for the others, Saturn and Jupiter by a Russian homeopath. Positronium or antimatter. And then a black hole, Cygnus, proving done by American-Canadian homeopath, Jason Eric Lindemann. So how did they make the remedy and the proving? They directed a telescope on the planet, on the black hole, and then put the vial there and collected the energy and made a remedy. There are more cosmic energies like time, gravity, and the magnetic field, which is the field around Earth, we can say. At least that's what also the patients say. Gravity, time, of course, this is when the Big Bang started, these kind of energies separated. Interesting field of research, again, quantum physics apply. And all these exist, yeah, also as homeopathic remedies. So these are the most cosmic or universe remedies. And then we have earthly remedies, like the magnet, the North and the South Pole. Tempesta, the thunderstorm, made from rainwater collected during a storm. Fire. Then there's also solar eclipse, made as a remedy. And I was also tempted to make up this remedy. There will be solar eclipse happening. here. And I quickly noticed that this is a very strange atmosphere with the solar eclipse, and I didn't want to even make that remedy anymore, because what also our soul patients will say, the sunlight, the sun brings life. And in the solar eclipse, light reduced. It got cooler, it got a bit darker, the birds stopped chirping, and all nature kind of slowed down. Everything which is alive slowed down. So it became so obvious that the sun brings the life. And that is also what soul patients might share with us. The sun brings the life on us. And meteorite, also an interesting remedy. The earthly material forces, like Hekla lava, you all have heard about it, Hekla lava, what it is. And by now there are many more lava remedies made, and also you can find them in the repertory. Lava Stromboli, Lava Falstaff, Lava Etna, from different Lava Kilauea, from different volcanoes, different remedies have been made. And why so? Because the energy aspect of these volcanoes can be quite different. Some are slow, some are explosive, some are very cold, some are very active. Yeah. So people went for it and made different remedies, and for some patient I went for different lava remedies, and it made a big difference. And then in the Gezi we have hot water coming out. So of course similar to volcanoes, but with water. Then another earthly material force is water. The sources. Yeah, we have so many remedies made from sources, particularly from Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, because the earlier homeopaths knew that this water was already healing. So it was obvious for them to make those remedies, but we hardly use them. And so we made Aquaterra, and I will present on this towards the end, I guess. Aquamarino, the water of the ocean, was also proven. There we have, of course, more natrium inside. And then is yet another category of imponderables, which are earthly or man-made or even naturally occurring, like fire. Electricitas, also quite an early homeopathic remedy. X-ray, we have all read it so many times in the repertory, because we can use it isopathically too. Then there's mobile phone, laser, microwave, ultrasound. Provings have been done. I saw a beautiful presentation on ultrasound last 1.5 years ago. Somebody has done a lot of research on that. It's also interesting because all pregnant women have their ultrasounds done, so it's interesting to know the proving. And vacuum. Vacuum, there's a beautiful case of Jayasha of vacuum. Yeah, and one can wonder if these are really remedies for people, but they are. And my own horizon got very much widened by a case of KISS syndrome, by a sort of neck problem since birth. And she got an imponderable and healed completely, though she was already 44. So she had this issue since birth. And that led to a lot of research how and why this could happen. And all in all, a bit of universe is with all of us, as you know. All those substances, all those minerals in us and then around us come from the universe. How is time prepared? That's a very good question. We had the same question. We saw this video case of a colleague, and this man, the patient, was always talking about time. And the presenter said, "What shall we give?" And we are all saying, "Yeah, we should give time, but what is it? Shall we take a Swiss watch and crush it and make a remedy or what?" But Nuala, I think, made a remedy by using an ultra-fast centrifuge, and then did it proving. And when we had this case presentation, we had also some person from Ireland there who was part of the proving. And so they were really proving time. She described that she missed all her appointments in that time. She described that there were going 4 colleagues, all proving the remedy time, going to their weekly circle, 20 kilometers away or something. And that took like many more hours than usual. And many such, we can say, time warp phenomenon occurred during the proving. And she said it's, of course, very unsettling to experience this. So when she had a very important appointment, she was standing at the railway station where her train should arrive 1 hour before to make sure she gets the train. And next moment, she remembers the train has gone. So she described that this remedy should also apply maybe for people suffering from schizophrenia and deep pathology, mental pathology. And yeah, then we saw the follow-ups of this banker talking about time and getting better. So I've I made a big presentation so I can show you quite a lot. So let's see how far we get today. So let's start with what I call the cosmic energies. Cosmic energies experienced by humans on Earth. I think we can all imagine a bit that if the remedy, the constitutional remedy, is something which is in the cosmos and not here, that this must be a very different psychological state and even maybe physiologically relevant. But so important, these remedies are like soul, spectrum, lunar, solar eclipse, light of the planets. So there exist remedy Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Polaris, the North Star, which is a star which is really far away. Positronium and black hole is also very far away. And time, gravity, and the polyambo magnetic field. It's energy plus matter combined in a very unique way. And these, also the humans are maybe messenger from this very greater context. They are connecting to our cosmic origins, which is still in ourselves, even materially. Maybe we can also understand it a bit like this, that even, the iron, the copper in our tissues actually originally comes from the cosmos. Ultimately, with some meteorite it landed here. Now in soul, in the proving, in the cases, we see that we have symptoms of hydrogen and helium. And actually the sun is made of 73% hydrogen, 25% helium, and the remaining are neon and other noble gases. And so in the remedy picture, we see hydrogen, helium, energy, rays, and what I mentioned already, the sun is nurturing our life on Earth. And a big aspect of soul is the feeling of being invincible. Now the sun consists of 99 parts of the mass of our solar system and emits a very powerful magnetic field. So maybe that relates to this feeling of being invincible. And now, you in India know this very well, that Surya is this very strong energy, even in the Upanishad. From the sun arise all beings, the sun sustains them all, into the sun they all vanish. What the sun is, that I am. So, even culturally, religion, people know this. It's not a homeopathic discovery, it's it's universal knowledge. So, soul patients, typically, I have several soul patients. They are feeling invincible, of course. They feel strong, but lonely. Of course, they have many symptoms, rubrics, and sensations of hydrogen and helium. You can see that in the repertory also, wherever there's soul, many times there's also hydrogen. Helium we know less, and a very powerful energy. And what is also typical is that the energy is very powerful, but the matter, the base, the structure is very small because it's just hydrogen and helium, yeah. The ego is very small, but the energy is very big. And the gesture in the cases is stretching out the limbs, showing their range and power. Seen that with several patients. One patient even had to leave my consulting chamber and get on the terrace and say, no, I need to stretch, I need to show you. It's wide. This room is too small. It's not, she would have had space, yeah, but for her it was small. And also important is nurturing the world and sustaining life on Earth. This can be in so many ways. It can be gardening. It can be in music. One person, he was doing the website for Orwell. So reaching out to the world with the message of Orwell. And before that, he was touring the world and doing the technicalities in Lighthouse for music band, because bringing music to the world. Or one patient, she is into yoga. So she gets up at 4, does her own yoga, then goes to schools, then goes to prisons, then teaches the young mothers yoga. Then in the evening, she goes, of course, she gives so many yoga classes every day and comes back late evening, cooks for her husband and herself at 8 in the evening, and next morning, 4 o'clock, she gets up again. That's like she has energy. The only problem ever she had was chronic hoarse voice, because that's the organ through which she is reaching out. I have another person whom I would like to give the same remedy. He is also traveling the globe constantly and bringing about change with therapy approaches. And his only problem also is the chronic horsewalks. And when he heard about homeopathy, he said, this is not for me. Because for him, matter is not important. For him, matter, having a building, having a house, having a center is a limitation, which he doesn't want. He doesn't want anything fixed that will fossilize his work. He wants to keep on traveling, and that's what he's doing. Of course, his approach to it has changed in past 15, 20 years, but he's still in action. Pathology can be hypoglycemia, means metabolism issues, energy through metabolism, diabetes, these kind of things. Then the horse voice, the heart, the coronary arteries. That is an issue with several soul patients. That's what I've mainly observed. And most of them have, of course, huge energy. Then spectrum. Spectrum is made from sunlight shining through a prism, separating the light into its component colors. It's also called rainbow. So my patient, whom I first gave soul, then spectrum, she made this design. And on this interhomeopathy platform, there was a case of spectrum with this image. And yeah, my patient is always dressed in so many bright colors like here. She says, I always feel I have a big important task, but what? She's quite powerful, direct, always colorfully dressed. Colors are important. First I gave soul, then spectrum, because I discovered this remedy. She gives workshops on transformation, healing with light. Then, but she's not working with patients, yeah? She's not working with patients. She just gives workshops of saying everybody can heal themselves. We can heal everything because we are invincible, right? And you can heal yourself with your own light. And in their workshops, she works with meditations, with light, and people are delighted. But she doesn't want to work one-on-one with patients, no. And in the case, it's a German case, it's very beautiful how she described in deep case taking, the everlasting cycle of light photons in the universe. How it, cycles, comes together, spreads out from there again, very beautifully. And then with the remedy and through her own learning, she took on a bigger job, more responsibility, and is networking with hundreds of people, and she just handles it quite well. For her, it's important, and that's why also she got this job, to see all the sides, to see all the perspectives. We need to understand each other to move forward. Luna, which, of course, I had never thought about it before, but we learned through our patients a lot. How did the moon come about? Actually. So the thesis, it's called the Theia hypothesis, suggests that the moon formed out of the debris left over from a collision between Earth and an astronomical body, I don't want to call it planet, the size of Mars, 4.5 years ago. And you can find also online some videos how people think this could have been, like a quite smaller astronomical body crashed into Earth. A direct hit, causing a thorough mix of both parent bodies. So lunar minerals are similar to those on Earth. Yeah. I have one case with 3 years follow-up. And yeah, she comes because she has issues with hearing, but which occur occasionally, not always. A very beautiful lady, probably around 60 when she came with her new partner, traveling the world after they have met in a cathedral. And yeah, both very, very special people. She lived in France. He had 3 times married and 3 times divorced, with usually, because she was also very beautiful, with very rich men, but she didn't want the life of the wife of a rich man. And then she moved into a 2 by 2 meter mini room in Paris, because she had also not much money, and did marathon running. And then she went on to a kind of world trip and found this new man. Very unusual. But then she says, in a crisis, once I'm alone, I'm fine. But the moment I'm with somebody, I lose my sense of self. And when she describes it fully, she says, I'm feeling totally isolated and closed off. And when she's in that state, she can't hear well. And she also has a distension of the abdomen then. And actually, her deep feeling since childhood has been a feeling that she's not from here. I don't want to be here. So whenever in crisis, she was repeating this. So at some point, when she was a teenage girl, her parents or her friends said, you're not suicidal. She said, no, I'm not suicidal, but I'm not from here. I don't want to be here. It's not about killing. It's not about blood, about nothing of all of this. Just, she's not from here. So then I had her start also with some doodling, and then it was clear that she was showing rays and energy moving, but I had no clue what to give. And luckily, in the repertory, we have this feeling, this rubric of hearing being acute and being hearing being bad, and also the distension of the abdomen. And then I said, okay, I'm giving it. After the remedy, I'm here. Now I take up my space, my spot here. Your hearing became normal. Her sense of isolation is not felt. And whenever there's somebody, she can say, no, actually, I don't want to talk, and just stay with herself. She said that's the first time of her life she can do that. Because either she would completely engage, or she should have to be alone. So she felt very good, and of course we did follow-ups. And they went back to France with her partner, and started a retreat center on a big piece of land somewhere in the mountains, the Paradise Mountains. And she said, I want to offer a space for retreats and radiate there. I will create a space where people can just be and fill up their resources. And she said, I also want to add my stone to it, to sort of the evolution on Earth, to people, healing. I want to add my stone to it. I didn't understand it in the initial case, but when I looked up what is actually the moon, you know? Another very interesting remedy is positronium. I put here, you can also put it here, the link in the School of Homeopathy, or put it later in the chat. So what is positronium? Positronium consists of an electron and a positron, a positively charged electron, an anti-electron. And these are orbiting around the common center of mass, which is almost zero. And this configuration is similar to that of a hydrogen atom. But positronium doesn't have a proton, and positronium is highly unstable. The potency we used for the proving were run up from the decay radiation resulting from the annihilation of the electron and the positron. Means the electron and the positron are crushing into each other and there's a spark. And that's it. Nolan did the remedy, made this remedy. I always had in mind, he presented in the year 2000 when also sensation method was first presented in Mumbai. And I was there. It was an amazing moment to start the new year with this. And I vaguely remember that they said it was produced in this CERN, where they do experiments, and they have this long underground oval road where they have then finally the electron and the positron crash into each other. But maybe, so positronium is a very unusual remedy, also very unstable, as you will see also with the patients. And it's as much as an imponderable as it is seventh row because of this energy becoming, matter becoming energy. And also the first elements, like hydrogen. The core theme of positronium is the possibility to manifest, the possibility to create and to exist, as well as the possibility of annihilation. We know from hydrogen that the big question of hydrogen is, do I exist? It's just the first element which actually does exist. And positronium is just before. The possibility to manifest, the possibility to create, the possibility to exist, as well as the possibility of annihilation. It's, and you'll see that also in the repertoire, it has so many same symptoms as hydrogen, but it's a much deeper remedy. It has many traits of a syphilitic miasm remedy, but also acute. So the source language means the words patients use can be Big Bang, universe, incredibly small. Of course, it's incredibly small. And finding the one who's the complete match. That's another expression I found several times. The pathology. Of course, there's a lot of pathology. The proving is complete. Michelle Noland also published a few cases with deep pathology. But very typical pathology are abrupt changes in mood and occupation, leading to drug use because they feel isolated, out of place, deeply depressed, and of course not grounded in reality. The potential is to be creative in all spheres. As you know, the soul brings life, and hydrogen is the first element. So it has also a bit of similarities, but then also this destructive part of it. So just sketching some cases very shortly. My first positonium case, very surprising, was this scrawny English lady who takes antidepressant for a long time and has very heavy headaches occasionally. Her passion is to raise tree seedlings from seeds and then to see the germination. Her migraine started when she got into menopause, means when the possibility of procreation was gone. This is a big central topic in positonium. And then, to my surprise, there she is describing the Big Bang and how she would have loved to be in the middle of it. In the middle of it. So this germination clicked later, why she likes it so much. The possibility of procreation. A second patient, a lady with a long history of panic attacks and depression. She got aggressed in her life twice, very violently. It could have been fatal in both times. She lived alone with her 2 kids in the Caribbean and later in Asia. And, she escaped very narrowly. So we can say maybe it's just, her trauma. Before she came, she tried to stop Prozac several times, but got much worse in the withdrawal. And had to be hospitalized. Suicidal attempts. And the first prescription was stramonium. You can imagine why. And then it didn't work. First it helped a bit, it didn't work, and she wanted to get much better and finally stop Prozac slowly. Not only stop Prozac, also stop the beers, stop the cannabis, stop the eating fits she experienced. So she was really wishing to heal. So we took a long case, and she describes this finding the perfect union for a second, for a flash of light, and in different context, because she is also into creating lamps. Before she was, buying stuff in Asia and bringing it back to Europe. So before she was going on big markets and finding small matching objects. Then she describes the perfect union and a flash of light when she unites with her husband. And then now she started to design new lampshades, and that is a similar experience for her of finding this moment of unity, of perfect unity, of perfection with lampshades. And she does very beautiful lampshades. And so we did a long treatment slowly, but she got off Prozac after 3-4 months of treatment. And she stopped cannabis and alcohol after that as well, over a few weeks. Let's say after another 3 months, she was off everything. She started to sport. Life took a different turn. And she loved her, tiny little globules doing it all for her. A third patient was a very typical, a young artist, very gifted, but one day he'll do drawings. He started to make a book. One day he'll play music. And one day he'll do painting. And videoing is also interesting. and he never finalizes any project. He can't keep any appointment. At any moment, he might go off to something else. People also don't want to make an appointment with him anymore because it never happens. Also difficult to join a music band because he's very good. He's very talented in all of these. But socially, it's just too difficult. How can he join a band? So he has huge difficulties to manage his creativity. Then, of course, also sleeplessness. So then in the night, there's, so many different kinds of company available, alcohol, drugs. So he was quite in a mess when we met. And the positronium helps him stabilize, sleep better and regularly, and do one project for a few days and get easier socially. Of course, he forgot to take his remedy. Many times over Facebook, I'm asking him, how are you doing? He said, yeah, I'm feeling so hopeless. Take your remedy. 1 week later, yeah, thank you to remind me. This happened many times. Some of his drawings, again, you see his flesh. Energy. And here, the one in the fishbowl feeling completely different than everybody else. Yeah, there are more drawings, but these are more the abstract drawings. A fourth patient, again, a very creative 34-year-old man, founded a PR company in Germany. And of course, his creativity is in a good place for the PR work, and he has to do it. But because he's so creative and he wants to do what he likes to do, so he also creates fashion on the screen digitally, just to be in his creative mode, not to sell it. Because what he also creates in fashion is not very variable. Few would, go for that. He knows it, so he doesn't want to produce. No interest, just the creativity. He regrets he has 2 children as they bind him to be here. He has 2 children after his wife convinced him, finally, after years, to have children, and then they divorced. He had an affair, and this woman got pregnant, and then he had a one-night stand, and this woman also got pregnant and went to court to get the money, and he's coming in despair. How can this happen to him twice? And yeah, I mean, we know positronium has a theme of creativity and procreation. And with the remedy, he's taking good care of his kids. Of course, only half of the week. But in the healing, he starts to enjoy the company of his kids and realize the kids and being with his kids is actually very healing for him. And he's much more emotional than with them. And he also has a drug abuse story, being a DJ, can imagine, in a big city. So nightlife, drugs, everything. All these themes of creativity, but also this lack of grounding, instability. Where can you get the Mantra Medica of these cosmic remedies? Incomplete repertory. You have, positronium, lunar, soul, and many others are there. Then there's few publications. Many people have asked me to put a book together. Yeah, maybe I'll do it one day. There's few publications. I've also shared this PowerPoint in an earlier form in Shankran's wish group, in the teacher meeting, hoping that we can put together much more, but yeah, there wasn't so much more. And I've also shared this on a global conference, which with Roman Buchimansky. So he called me up. He's a close colleague of mine, we can say. And he said, I want to do a conference only on imponderables. I said, fine, yes, I'm ready. I get ready. But then there were a few more. Also the Russian lady who's done provings of Saturn light and Jupiter light and has done a few more interesting provings. But yeah, there were not so many colleagues who had imponderable cases. So this is, let's say, this is a lot of research still, and I'm hoping to get your questions and to see if there's a few more people needing imponderables who can get support now. That's also would be important to put more research together. Dr. Kalati is doing such a great work for many fields of Mater Medica. I'm sure he also has imponderable cases. So maybe we can create something in the future. Let's see. I'm always happy to connect and network, especially on these topics of research.
Yes, I have many cases of imponderable. Positoniums, vacuum also I have, and fire, electricity, spectrum, 2 cases of spectrum. So we'll talk on length on another day. Yeah, on imponderable. Yeah, so we enjoy a lot today's session. It's very good. Anyone have any question? Otherwise, we need to conclude here.
Oh, okay. There's still the earthly imponderables, the magnets, there's still the waters, aquaterra, but okay. Yes. Maybe we have to put a book together.
Yeah, because it's too lengthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my last message would be prepared for anything, because that was my experience. I thought, okay, soul, but there are many more imponderables out there. And the people experience this, And even with Aquaterra, this remedy made from water from all over the world, from 320 sources. I thought we were just making a remedy to make a remedy. But now I have patience.
Yeah.
So once the remedy is there, maybe the patients also come and connect.
Yeah.
There's always this kind of magic with homeopathy, effect of consciousness. Thank you. Yes.
Our next session is on 21st March, same time. The same way, a surprising topic. So I'm not going to explore what is the topic going on, but you have a very interesting topic. This is my session on 21st March.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.